So what we're doing today is we are installing a new Boxster badge on the Boxster. So a little story behind this, and maybe someone has some ideas. It's kind of a mystery to me, but little story behind this car. I bought it with 12,000 miles on it. It actually, step out of the camera here, it actually came with this, but it also came with this. And that's interesting for a couple of different reasons. One reason is this is a 2008 Boxster Limited Edition, and to my knowledge, I could be wrong about this, but I've never seen a limited edition 2008 Boxster come with that color of Boxster badge. Never seen that before. So that is really strange that this particular car, when I bought it with around 12,000 miles on it, it's strange that it came with that, and I never could figure out why. I don't think that you could get that from the factory as an option. Again, I could be wrong. But what's even more strange is the S. Okay, this is not a Boxster S. This is a base Boxster. And so that is really strange that this car, which is a base Boxster, not a Boxster S, came with the Boxster S badge. And you might be saying, well, I don't know. There's all kinds of theories that I have as to why this car came with this. One of the theories could be that, I suppose the owner, when they ordered the car, couldn't swing a Boxster S and was only able to justify or afford to buy a base Boxster, which is totally fine. It's a brilliant car. And maybe they decided that they wanted it to say Boxster S on the back, and so they bought a Boxster S badge and put it on the back. That's very possible. It is strange. Well, I'll go into my second theory. The second theory is, well, the car had some kind of damage to the boot lid or trunk lid, and maybe it was damaged, and as a result it had to be repaired, either replaced or repaired, and when it was replaced or repaired, maybe the company that replaced or repaired it didn't know their Boxsters very well, and they decided, well, we'll just order this and stick it on there. That's very possible. Problem is with that theory, and you won't be able to see it on camera, but you probably won't be able to see it on camera even if I got really close. But the problem with that theory is I don't think that this has been repainted. I think that is original paint. Now there are a few spots on this car that have been repainted. The front quarter panel on the passenger side has definitely been repainted. It's great color match, but you can tell the texture is a little bit different. The texture on this boot lid or trunk lid is perfectly matched up with the rest of the car. It looks like it's original. If I get my little cheap paint gauge out here, what does it show? I mean, it's thin. This is this measurement here on this part of the car is probably the thinnest measurement on the whole car. It shows 2.6 mils, and it gets thinner as you get closer to the edge here. In fact, I think this is like even less than that. So 2.1, the edge is 2.1. You can see that. So I just don't think that's been repainted. There's no signs of overspray on any of the other panels. The texture is the same. there's just no indication, and I'm not a paint expert, but I just don't see any indication that this is anything but the original factory paint finish. So it's a mystery. The mystery is why? Well, you know, why is that on there? The other thing that's interesting, I'll try to get you in closer, maybe you can see it. If you come in closer here, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. Let's see. The other interesting part is that when I removed the old Boxster badge, oh, you can kind of see it. You see the etching of the outline of the Boxster lettering on there. If I was really good, I would have sanded that off, or I didn't, because I still am learning how to sand, and I didn't want to wet sand, and I didn't want to practice on this car. But it's interesting that it's etched in the lettering is etched in there in such a way that it just makes me feel like that was like original to the car. So anyway, it's just a mystery. I just don't know. And so if anyone out there in the land of YouTube has any ideas, it's not that big of a deal. I'm actually getting ready to sell this car, unfortunately. I have too many cars, and my wife, rightfully so, is talking some sense into me. But I don't think it's going to bother the future owner of the car either. The car is in such overall great condition, but nonetheless, it's a mystery that I've been trying to solve since I bought the car. But yeah, so my friend Tad helped me measure exactly where this badge will go, and I'm actually going to ceramic coat the black Boxster badge with crystal serum light. I do one coat of this, and then I will do 2 coats of XO, which is the topper. So I'll actually get the badge all nice. And then the other thing, again, this is all kind of new to me, so I don't know. I should have done this obviously before I paint corrected and ceramic coated the car. I didn't. I got in a hurry. And so now what I'm having to do is take my Rupes hybrid with a microfiber cutting pad. And I think I'll use something like Just Car to correct it. I have more aggressive compounds that I'd rather not use if I don't have to. But basically, I have to compound this area here where the badge is going to sit. I'm going to compound and remove the ceramic coating from the clear coat, so that I can actually have the Boxster badge adhere to the surface. I don't think it will stay on there if I don't. Anyway, with this car, I've actually I went through with, I have Dr. Color Chip, you know, just the paint chip paint kit, and I've gone around and touched up a few of my paint chips on the car, and I learned that, again, it's obvious, I should have known better, but you know, live and learn, that you really need to do that before you ceramic coat the car, because if you don't, the paint will not stick to the place where the paint chip is. So anyway, I'm making the assumption that the same thing is going to happen with the adhesive on the back of this Boxster badge. So I'm going to do that today, and once all of that is finished, then I'll install that badge, and it will be the way that it really should have been from the factory. So I'm going to get to work on that, and I'll show you, hopefully in a little while, I'll show you the results of that. See how that's beading? And that's not beading as much. So that's good, because I'm trying to get all the ceramic coating off. But I gotta be careful with it, because the paint's already really thin right here, and I don't want to burn through it. can see here. Yeah, see that? See how it's not beading? See how that beads?
Mm-hmm.
See, yeah, get a shot of that, because that's the difference. So that's the only way I know to tell that I've actually removed the ceramic coating from the spot that, where's my badge? I don't want it, from the spot that the badge is going to go. So again, the only reason I'm doing that is because I don't think that this badge will stick to the paint if it has that layer of, in this case, crystal serum light. And on this card, I think I did 1 layer of XO, maybe 2 layers. And you can see as you look at the way that Car Pro eraser, it beads up on the places that have the ceramic coating on it, and it doesn't bead up on the spot that I compounded. So I'm guessing that that's going to be sufficient enough to remove the coating so that I can install the badge. Like I said, I had to be, in the beginning, you could see the paint measurements. I had to be really careful because the paint on this lid, especially as you get to the edge here, is extremely thin. And I won't tell you what car I burned through recently, but I was trying to do the same type of thing on another car recently, and I actually did burn through a little spot of the clear coat. So live and learn, but I definitely don't want to do that here. I guess one of the nice things is that we're going to have, of course, not this badge. I don't want to touch the other badge because I just coated it with the ceramic coating, but you know, this spot will be partially covered up by the badge. And so so yeah, it should be ready to go. And I like the way I was able to do this, you know, not only using the tape to get my measurements on exactly where to place the new badge, but I could use my tape as knowing, you know, as a marker to know exactly where to remove the ceramic coating. So I'm not trying to remove any more than what's necessary. Again, I will add after this cures, I will add a layer of XO to that. And I guess I could have done that on the car, but I thought it'd be easier just to do it while the badge was off the car, and then when the badge is actually on the car, then I'll come back through, and everywhere there's a space where the letters are, I'll actually go in there and ceramic coat the area of the paint that's exposed in between each of the letters, so that the car has good protection even on that little spot. So basically, we're at the point where I'm going to let this cure. It says on the box or in the instructions, I think it says cure at least 3 hours. I think I'll probably let it cure longer than that. And once it's cured, then I'll take that badge and I'll place it on there, and we'll see how I did. So that's this part of the process, and we'll go from there. Yep. All right. Well, now what I'm going to do is, when I compounded the ceramic coating off of the space where the badge is going to go, it induced some marring on the paint, which is normal. So just for the heck of it, before I install the badge on the paint, I'm going to go ahead and polish that spot. And so I'm going to swap the pads here from a microfiber to this white, what is this? I think it's a white Rupes pad. And I'm just using this fine polish from Rupes. It seems to work pretty good. Oh, whoops. You can edit that part out, Grayson.
Okay.
Oop. Comes out of the bottle kind of fast. Just need a little bit, small space. Oh, battery's dead. That's okay. Maybe go over it one more pass. I don't think it needs much. Alright, that should do it. Now let's see how we go here. Try to get a light out to see if we... It wasn't bad, but it... And of course, a lot of it's going to be covered up by the badge. But that's okay. Now I'll get my scan grip. Yeah, I think that did it. Took care of all those little scratches in there. You can still see the etching from the where the previous Boxster badge was. But again, most of that's going to be covered up by the new Boxster badge. And I figure I'll have somebody, they're still going to be on the very edges since I'm moving. The previous badge was a Boxster S badge, so I'll be moving everything to the right a little bit. And so that will leave some of that etching exposed from the previous badge, and I'll have somebody that knows what they're doing with wet sanding maybe help me get rid of the mark that will be exposed there on the edge. But I think we're pretty much ready to put that new badge on. I'm gonna just real quick put a coating of, I've already put crystal serum light on it, and so I'm going to put a coating of XO, and then we'll be ready to put the badge on. I'm sure I'll get lots of internet hate for that. Heaven forbid I make a mistake. Anyway, here is the new Boxster badge. Actually, I let the crystal serum light. The instructions say 3 hours, but I always do more than that. So it's been way more than 3 hours. So I'm going to apply the layer of XO on it. And that is way too much for such a little badge, but that's okay. Like I said before, after I get the badge installed on the car, I'll come through with crystal serum light and exo, and I'll do the paint that's exposed between all the lettering, just to make sure that that's protected. I don't know how I'm going to do that. Maybe a Q-tip, maybe? Still trying to kind of learn how to use this stuff. I'm getting better at it. But it's pretty simple. You just put it on there and wipe it off. Main thing is that you wipe it off completely, because as I learned on another project, if you don't, there will be high spots, and the high spots really stand out. That's really all there is to it. I think I'll give that area one last wipe down, and then I think we're ready to install this badge, which is awesome. And I hope that the adhesive that it comes with it doesn't seem like it's all that strong, but I'm sure that it'll be fine. Really the only thing I do from here is, let's see, grab a clean part of this towel and use this, what is this, G-Technic panel wipe. It's pretty strong stuff. I don't like spraying it on the car directly. I prefer to just spray it on the towel. But it does remove any leftover residue that's on the paint. And so it's nice to have around. It smells really bad, really strong. I guess it doesn't smell bad, but it's just a really strong smell. But the nice thing is it really preps the paint, gets everything off of it. In this case, that's super important because we want the badge to stick. I think we're ready to put that badge on there. I really want it to be as close to center as possible. Our measurements are correct, so it's just a matter of taking the badge. I like that black. That's how it should have been to begin with. Let's see here. Because really what we need to do is we need to, this side needs to be up against that tape, and the bottom of this needs to be up against the, oh, and I forgot that the badge is kind of curved, so it's not straight. It's not like a, man, that is pretty darn close right there. That's pretty darn close. Well, what do you think? Should I stick it on there? Cameraman?
Sure.
Yeah, looks good. I'm about even on both sides, and that's our center mark. And I don't know how long it takes for that to secure itself, but, well, what do you think? Looks good?
Mm-hmm.
There goes nothing. Nice. That looks good. Oh yes. Yep, that's perfect. Just the way it should be. It actually turned out really nice. Like I said, I'll come through and I need to ceramic coat these areas in here that I had to polish everything off. So I'll come through and do that just so that that part is protected. But yeah, all in all, I think it's wonderful. It'd be really neat to go in there and have that, see if that can be wet sanded off. Then I also bought a product. This top is in really, really good condition, but I also bought a product that cleans the top, and then you go over and put a protective coating on it as well, just to keep it nice. So I'll probably do that, but really the car is now ready to sell. The other thing that we did, my friend Francisco helped me put in these. These are called bumper plugs. You can get those on bumperplugs.com. Really a cool concept. You just send them your paint code, and they paint the plugs depending on your paint code. And then you do have to drill a slightly bigger hole in your bumper, but for those people that don't want a front license plate and want to conceal the holes, it's a really great option. I'll do a few other things to it, but hopefully it's ready for its next owner. So we'll go from there, but get one last shot of that nice Boxster badge, Grayson.